I married 7 men. 7 times I stood under the mango tree in my father's compound, wearing a white blouse and wrapper with beads around my neck. 7 times the drummers played and the women ululated. But each time something happened. Death, divorce, secrets. The village called me the widow maker behind my back. Some said I had a curse from the gods. Others said I was too beautiful, like a spirit from the river that brings bad luck. But only I know the truth, and now I will tell you. Let me start from the beginning. I was 16 when I first fell in love. His name was Chidi. He was not my first husband, but he was my first everything. Chidi lived in the next compound. He was tall, with skin like polished ebony and eyes that smiled even when his mouth did not. He helped his father farm yams, but he dreamed big. Adanna, he would say, whispering under the moonlight, one day I will go to Lagos, I will drive a big car and I will take you with me. We met at the village stream. I was fetching water, balancing the pot on my head. He was washing his bicycle. Our eyes met and something sparked, like thunder in dry season. We started meeting in secret, behind the church or in the bush where palm trees hide secrets. He gave me my first kiss, soft like rain on leaves. You are my heart, he said, no one else. But in our village, love like that is not free. My father wanted me to marry someone with money. Chidi was poor. So when I turned 18, my father arranged my first marriage to a man named Okoro. Okoro was my first husband. He was 35, a trader who sold kola nuts in the market. He had a big belly from too much fufu and beer, but he was kind. The village elders blessed the union. My mother tied my wrapper tight and said, "Be a good wife, Adanna. Cook well, bear children." On our wedding night, I cried. Not because Okoro was bad, but because my heart was with Chidi. Okoro tried to love me. He bought me new clothes from Aba market. He built a small room for us, but I could not forget Chidi. We lived together for 2 years. I cooked his favorite onogbu soup. I washed his clothes, but inside I was empty. One day, Okoro found out about Chidi. I don't know how. Maybe a neighbor saw us talking. He came home angry, his eyes red like hot coal. "You shame me," he shouted. He beat me that night. Not too hard, but enough to leave marks on my soul. The next morning, I packed my things. I cannot stay, I told him. Divorce, in our village, divorce is like a curse. Women who divorce are called loose. Men laugh at them. Families disown them. But I did it. I went back to my father's house. The village whispered, "Adanna is proud. She thinks she's better than us." Chidi was waiting. "Run away with me," he said. We planned to go to Enugu City, but fate laughed at us. Chidi got sick. High fever. The herbalist said it was from bad water. He died in 3 days. I held his hand as he breathed his last. Adanna, love, were his final words. My heart broke into pieces. I cried for months. The stigma of divorce mixed with the pain of loss. Women avoided me at the market. "She brings death," they said. My father shook his head. "What will become of you?" But life goes on, like the river that never stops. 2 years later, I met my second husband. His name was Emeka. Emeka was different. He came from Lagos visiting his uncle in the village. He wore shiny shoes and spoke English like Oyibo people. He was a banker with money in his pocket. "Adanna," he said, smiling with white teeth, "you are the most beautiful woman I have seen." He did not care about my past. "Everyone has stories," he said. We married fast. The village came to the wedding, but their eyes were full of questions. "Will this one last?" they whispered. Emeka took me to Lagos. Oh, Lagos, the big city with tall buildings and cars everywhere, noise all day and night. I felt like a small fish in a big ocean. Emeka had a flat in Ikeja. He bought me dresses and jewelry. At night, he held me close. "I love you," he said. And for the first time since Chidi, I felt warm inside. But Emeka had a secret. I found out after 6 months. He had another wife in Abuja with 2 children. He traveled a lot for work, but it was to see them. One day, his phone rang. I answered. A woman's voice. "Where is my husband?" My world crashed. I confronted him. He begged, "Forgive me, Adanna. You are my true love." But lies are like poison. They kill slowly. I divorced him too. Back to the village I went. Alone again. The stigma was worse now. 2 husbands gone, the women said at the well. She cannot keep a man. My mother cried with me. Why, Adanna? Why? But in my heart, I knew. I loved Chidi truly. Emeka was just a dream, a false one. Then came the 3rd husband, Nnamdi. Nnamdi was a teacher in the village school, quiet, with glasses that made him look wise. He read books all the time. Adanna, he said one day after church, I see your pain. Let me heal it. He knew about my divorces. He did not judge. We married under the same mango tree. The village watched, waiting for drama. Nnamdi was gentle. He taught me to read better. At night, he told stories from books about far places like America and China. I started to love him, slowly, like a seed growing. But Nnamdi had his own darkness. He drank too much. Palm wine at first, then strong ogogoro. He hid it well. But one night, he came home drunk. He shouted. He hit me. You are nothing without me. I stayed for a year, hoping he would change. But the beatings came more. The village knew, but they said, wives must endure. One day, I could not endure. I left. Divorce number 3. The elders called me to the palace. Adanna, you shame us, the chief said. Women stay, they fight for their home. I cried that night, alone in my mother's hut. The stigma was like a heavy load on my head. No one wanted to marry me now. She is trouble, they said. But love finds a way, like water through rocks. My 4th husband was from another village. His name was Obi. Obi was a farmer, strong and hardworking. He heard my story but said, I don't care. I see your good heart. We married. I moved to his village by the river. Life was peaceful. We planted maize together. He sang to me in the evenings. I thought, this is it. True love again. But Obi had a secret too. He was sick. Very sick. The doctor in town said it was from bad blood. He knew but did not tell me. He wanted a wife before he died. When I found out, I was scared. But I stayed. I cared for him. I boiled herbs. I prayed to God and the ancestors. Don't take him, I begged. He died in my arms. The village said, Adanna brings death again. I returned home, broken. 4 husbands, 2 divorces, 2 deaths. The whispers became shouts, which some called. My heart ached for love, real love, like Chidi's. Then came the 5th, Uche. Uche was rich. He owned a shop in Onitsha market. He came to our village for a festival. Adanna, marry me. I will give you everything. I said yes, tired of pain. We married big. Music, food, dancing. But Uche was jealous. He locked me in the house. You cannot talk to men, he said. You have too many husbands before. One day, he accused me of cheating. It was a lie. He beat me bad. I ran away. Divorce. The stigma now was like fire, burning me. My family almost disowned me. Adanna, stop this, my brother said. But I could not stop living. The 6th was Ike, a quiet man, a fisherman. He loved me softly, but he drowned in the river one stormy night. Accident, they said. But I wondered, was it my curse? I told you about Chidi, my first true love who died too young. I told you about the first 4 husbands, Okoro and Emeka whom I divorced, Nnamdi who beat me, and Obi who died of the sickness he hid from me. Then Uche the jealous one, and Ike the fisherman who drowned. 6 husbands gone. 2 divorces, 4 deaths. The village no longer whispered. They shouted, "Adanna is poison." Mothers hid their sons. Even children ran when they saw me coming from the farm. I walked with my head down, carrying firewood alone. My heart was tired. But something inside me, maybe stubbornness, maybe hope, would not let me give up on love. Now I will tell you about the 7th husband, Kelechi, the one the village thought would finally break me or save me. Kelechi came to our village 3 years ago. He was born here but left when he was small. His father sent him to school in Enugu, then university in London. He became a big doctor, a surgeon. When his mother fell sick, he came back to build a small clinic near the market. White walls, medicine that actually worked, a generator that never failed. The whole village praised him. "Our son has returned," they said at the town hall. I first saw him at church on a Sunday morning. He wore a clean white shirt and trousers, no cap, his hair cut low. He looked like someone from television. After service, he greeted everyone with a calm smile. When he reached me, he stopped. "Adanna," he said. My name sounded different in his mouth, soft like a prayer. "I have heard about you." My stomach tightened. I waited for the usual look, fear, pity, or judgment. Instead, he smiled gently. "I heard you have a kind heart. The clinic needs a nurse helper, someone who knows the people. Would you come?" I could not believe it. Me, the woman everyone avoided. I said yes. Working with Kelechi was like breathing fresh air after years underwater. He taught me how to take blood pressure, how to dress wounds, how to calm crying children. He never asked about my past at first. He just treated me like a normal person. We laughed together when a goat entered the clinic and ate the cotton wool. We shared lunch, my egusi soup and his bread from the city. One evening, after the last patient left, rain started falling hard. Thunder shook the roof. He said, "Stay until it stops." We sat on the veranda watching the rain. Then he asked quietly, "Adanna, why did you marry so many times?" I thought he would judge me, but his eyes were kind. So I told him everything. Chidi, the divorces, the deaths, the stigma that followed me like a shadow. Tears came as I spoke. I had not told anyone the full truth before. When he finished, he was quiet for a long time. Then he took my hand. "I am sorry you carried all that alone, but I see who you really are. You loved deeply. You left when you had to. You stayed when others would run. That is strength, not shame." My heart opened like a flower in the sun. For the first time in years, I felt seen. He told me about London, cold weather, big hospitals, lonely nights. I was successful, he said, but empty. I came home to find meaning. He asked me to marry him 6 months later, in the clinic, on one knee, with a simple gold ring he bought in Aba. The village was shocked. Kelechi, the London doctor, wants the woman with 7 husbands? They warned him. His uncle called a family meeting. "She will bring you bad luck. Choose another girl." But Kelechi stood firm. "I choose Adanna. She is my peace." We married quietly. No big party. Just family and close friends. I wore a simple lace blouse and wrapper in blue, his favorite color. My mother cried happy tears for the first time in years. Life with Kelechi was beautiful. He built us a small house behind the clinic, zinc roof, 3 rooms, a veranda with flowers. We woke early, opened the clinic together. At night, we lay close, talking about dreams. He wanted children. I wanted them too. But I was afraid my curse would touch them. 1 year passed, then 2. No death, no divorce. The village started to change. Women brought their babies to me for checkups. Men greeted me in the market. "Mama doctor," they called me now. The stigma faded like old cloth in the sun. I thought, finally, God has smiled on me. but secrets have a way of rising, like smoke from a hidden fire. One night, Kelechi came home late. His eyes were red. He had been drinking, something he never did. He sat on the bed and held his head. "Adanna," he said, voice shaking, "there is something I must tell you." My heart stopped. Another secret? Another reason to lose love? He looked at me with tears. "Before I came back to the village, I was married in London." I froze. Her name was Grace. We met at the hospital. We married fast, but she left me, said Africa was in my blood, that I would never be fully hers. The divorce was painful. I came home to heal. I did not speak. I just listened. "That is not all," he continued. "Before I came back to the village, I felt connected, like we carried the same pain. Divorce stigma for you here, for me there. People judging, whispering." He took my hands. "But there is more, the biggest secret." He opened a drawer and brought out old photographs. In one, he stood with a young man, tall, smiling, light-skinned like Kelechi. "This is Chidi," he said. My breath left me. The world spun. "Chidi? My Chidi?" Kelechi nodded, tears falling now. "My younger brother. Same father, different mothers. He wrote to me in London about a girl named Adanna, how he loved her more than life, how your father refused because we were poor, how he got sick and died thinking of you." I started shaking, crying. "All these years." Kelechi said, "I did not plan to fall in love with you, Adanna. But when I saw your kindness, your strength, I understood why Chidi loved you. And I fell too, deeper." We cried together that night, for Chidi, for lost years, for pain that circled back to love. The next day, Kelechi called his uncle and the elders. He told them everything, about Chidi, about his own divorce in London, about how he found me. The village gathered under the big Iroko tree. They listened. Some cried, some prayed. Then the oldest woman stood up. Adanna did not bring death. She brought love, even when it hurt. And now, love has brought her back to the family she lost. They blessed us again, louder this time. Today, Kelechi and I still run the clinic. We have 2 children now, a boy we named Chidi and a girl we named Grace. The village calls me Ineoma with pride. 7 husbands, 2 divorces, 4 deaths, 1 forever love. The reason that shocked the village? It was never a curse. It was love. Always love. The kind that refuses to die, even when everything else does.